Willie D Live.
What's up, family? If it's your first time checking out the show, let me know what city, what state you're coming in from. If you're outside of the U.S., let me know what country you represent. Throw up your flag. Family, I need you to smash up the likes, smash up the likes, smash up the likes. Also, if you have not done so already on YouTube, after you subscribe, there's a little bell next to your subscribe button. Go ahead and click that thing right now so you can get your notifications each time I drop a new video like this. That way you'll be in the loop. I let a few hundred of y'all come in, then I'm going in. But in the meantime and in between time, I'm going to get some shots out to the early birds, starting with China Carter. China Carter. What's up, China? Miss Lily Blink. What it do? Boss man Don Dada. What up? What it do? Let's see. What's up, Andre Torres? What it look like? Yeah. Okay, J Adams. What's up, J Adams? All right, fam. I guess people got stuff to do. They got other things to do. So we're going to go on in. I ain't going to wait on them. We're going to go ahead and go on in. All right. Donald Trump, your president. He gave us an update on Epic Fury. The update is America is whooping Iran butt, kicking butt all over the place. They don't stand a chance in the world. We've taken out all of their missiles. We've destroyed their oil refineries. We've killed their little children. We have destroyed their bridges and their roads. We have broken their spirit. And even though we did all of that, they still sent us a gift. But nobody could verify the gift. But it was a big gift. It was really, really big. And it was a signal of regime change. And, you spoke to a high official, couldn't tell us who the official was, but the leadership that Iran respects and who's actually in charge in Iran says that they've sent no such gift and they have not conceded to any type of ceasefire. They have not conceded to a ceasefire. Meanwhile, Trump is running the same play. Check him out. This is Donald Trump giving an update on Epic Fury, and Pete Hegseth, his Secretary of Defense, and Marco Rubio, they're like dumbfounded as he's talking about this stuff. They look very, very uncomfortable. Check it out.
Last 3 weeks, we've been hitting Iran's military capabilities at a level that few people have ever seen before. People never knew there was such a capability. We have the strongest military anywhere in the world by far. I built it during my first administration, and I used it during my second administration. unfortunately, because I'd rather not have to use it. But it's a display of force and precision and skill like nothing the world has really witnessed, although you got a pretty good witnessing of it in Venezuela also. And that was a smaller version of what we're doing now. We're crushing their missiles and drone stockpiles, destroying the defense industrial base. We've wiped out their Navy completely, their Air Force completely. We've wiped out a large percentage of their missiles. And the missile launchers, without the launchers, the missiles don't do any good. And we've knocked out probably close to 90% of the launchers, probably more than 90% of the missiles themselves. Between some they fired and more than they fired, we knocked out. We've also destroyed a lot of the factories. We're continuing to do that, but a lot of the factories where they manufacture the drones and the missiles. The drones, too, are way down, but the reason they're down is they go one way and they don't come back, because for the most part we're shooting them down. But we also are able to, we've really done tremendous damage to the places where they make them. And just so we set the record straight, because I've been watching the...
Do y'all see how uncomfortable Marco and Pete look?
Wall Street Journal's fake news and all these stories that get printed like, oh, I want to make a deal. They are begging to make a deal, not me. They're begging to make a deal.
Let's look at that. Let's just go back to those expressions one more time. Does these sound like guys who are convinced, and do they sound like they're on the same page as their commander-in-chief?
A large percentage of their missiles. And the missile launchers, without the launchers, the missiles don't do any good. And we've knocked out probably close to 90% of the launchers, probably more than 90% of the missiles themselves. Between some they fired and more than they fired, we knocked out. We've also destroyed a lot of the factories. We're continuing to do that, but a lot of the factories where they manufacture the drones and the missiles. The drones, too, are way down, but the reason they're down is they go one way and they don't come back, because for the most part we're shooting them down. But we also are able to, we've really done tremendous damage to the places where they make them. And just so we set the record straight, because I've been watching the Wall Street Journal's fake news and all these stories that get printed like, oh, I want to make a deal. They are begging to make a deal, not me. They're begging to make a deal.
Okay, so he keeps talking about this deal that Iran is begging to make. But it just seems like the whole deal thing keeps coming from one side. Trump is the only one keep talking about a deal. Iran is not talking about a deal. In fact, Iran says no deal unless you capitulate to our demands. Yeah, unless you do what we say. Unless you get out of our region for good, you withdraw your troops out of our region, unless you pay reparations. That's a big one. Pay reparations for the damage you caused. You know, forever, the United States has been going to other countries, just blowing up stuff, killing everybody, leaving blood in the streets, blowing up the infrastructure, destroying schools, hospitals, government buildings, homes, everything, just been wreaking havoc. And they leave it up to these other countries to rebuild unless they bow down to their demands and allow them to go in and pick their next leader so that they can control that country. That's the only time they will say, okay, we're going to help you rebuild. But when they do that, it's always, that's really the goal in the first place. They want to rebuild so that they can get to the money. See, that's how they get to the money. It's billions of dollars and destroying billions of dollars in property, right? So if they can, it's going to take billions to rebuild. If it costs billions to destroy, then it's billions to rebuild. And this is where these U.S. companies come in and clean house. But they also help themselves to that country's resources along the way. I want you to check out the White House's IG page. Very interesting what they posted here. Check this post out. This post says Americans saw the true and craven nature of congressional Democrats during my State of the Union. They're the party of fraudsters, criminals, radicals, illegal aliens, high taxes, and putting America last. Republicans are the party for every hardworking patriot. What about the hardworking patriots that no longer have an opportunity to work hard because they lost their jobs? What about those patriots? Are they still hardworking? Are you talking about those patriots? Or are you talking about the patriots who are getting real money, like getting to the millions and the billions, with every side hustle that you use the White House to exploit, in your position as the president to exploit? So I don't know if you guys can see this. I'm gonna try to make it a little bigger so you can see some of these comments. So again, the White House, whoever's over their social media wrote, the party of fraudsters, criminals, radicals, illegal aliens, and putting America last is not what we stand for. Somebody said incorrect buzzer sound. Another person said oil prices be crazy though. Somebody else said, ain't nobody buying it, Chief. Ain't nobody buying. What is TS? Buying that? That TS. Ain't nobody buying that TS. So ain't nobody buying it, Chief. Nobody's buying it. Another person said, if you spent as much time negotiating solutions as you do posting nonsense and calling people names, we'd be a much happier country. Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? The no tax on overtime was a total lie, a betrayal of the very people that put you in office. A lot of blue-collar workers affected by this lie will repay it in November. Blame, blame, blame. Please take responsibility, Mr. President. The Republican Party is built on blaming Democrats and protecting billionaires at this point. Cough, BS, cough. Same tired, lame, juvenile speech. Hey, and this is on the White House's Instagram page, which typically has a lot of support for Trumpsters, a lot of support for Trump himself. This is on their IG page. These are Americans telling the president how they feel about his job performance. If Donald Trump was running a Fortune 500 company right now, they would call an immediate meeting to replace him. They would call an immediate meeting because stocks would be going down. Stocks would be falling rapidly. And they do something to stop the bleeding. And what they would do is they would fire the head guy. They would fire him immediately to stop the bleeding. Every accusation is a confession. All Donald Trump does is lie and abuse power. These are Americans speaking. Trump is such a petulant child. Who was the one convicted of fraud 34 times? And it goes on and on and on, fam. You're picking up what I'm putting down. You You're catching what I'm throwing, right? Nobody believes him. Nobody believes him. All of this, keep blaming the Democrats. It's the Democrats. But you already said you're the one in charge. And remember, fam, remember before he ever became president, he said that if a government shutdown happens, it's on the president. That's what he said. That was his words before he became president. He said if a government shutdown occurs, you got to blame the president because he's the one who is tasked with bringing the people together. But you've never heard Donald Trump accept responsibility ever. But it's funny how he always wants everybody else to accept responsibility. Anybody else does anything, oh, nah, he's the law and order president. I say impeach, remove, convict, impeach. Here's what I want to know, fam. Has the Iranian regime fallen? Let him tell it. It fell the first day. Let him tell it again. It fell the second day. Let him tell it again. It fell a week later. Then it fell 2 weeks after the beginning of the war. And every day it has fallen once again, every day. But missiles still hitting their mark. Missiles continue to hit their marks. Bombs continue to explode. So what is it, man? Like, I've never seen a war that was over be so active. What I want to know is, the American people want to know, has Iran's ballistic missile capabilities been eliminated? That's what we need to know. Has Iran's ballistic capabilities been eliminated? Ballistic missile capabilities been eliminated? That's what we need to know. America has failed to achieve its strategic goals, its strategic military goals. It's failed dramatically. The regime in Iran is still standing. Trump is still lying. He's still sitting down lying. Well, sometimes he stand up and lie, but he's still lying. You got to persecute, you got to prosecute the perpetrators and stop bombing children, brother. You're not going to get people on your side killing little innocent children, bombing a school of little girls, killing damn near 200 girls. You're not going to get people on your side no matter how you try to spin the story. No matter how you keep on trying to convince us that that Iran is the world's greatest terrorist threat. You're not going to convince us, because Iran didn't drop a bomb on a school and kill damn near 200 little girls. You did. America did it. The US did it. You're not going to convince us that Iran is the greatest threat to world safety. You're not going to get us to believe that. Not when all of the killing is so lopsided. So he's failed all of his objectives in the war. And now he wants the Obama deal back. Ain't that something, fam? He wants the Obama deal back with his name on it. That's what's happening. He's failed all of his initiatives. He's failed his deal. His plan is just imploded. So now he wants the Obama deal back, but he wants to put his name on it. Just like he put his name on the military. The military in the United States has always been strong. You ain't rebuilt shit, brother. He talking about it. He keep on talking about I rebuilt it in my first term. I built it. You ain't built shit. You ain't built jack. The military has always been strong. The U.S. military has always been strong. It gets strong every year. They spend more money on the military than they spend on anything else. No president in the United States has ever overlooked spending money on the military. America has to spend a lot of money on the military because America goes out of its way to make a lot of enemies. America makes a lot of enemies. So America has to spend a lot of money on the military. Because the first chance that they think that they can safely get, they're going to bomb on America. Straight up. They're going to straight up go in. And the first target is going to be wherever the president is. They keep on saying, well, these people keep saying death to America. Like these people just woke up and just hate America. Nah. This death to America is not coming out of nowhere. It's not coming out of thin air. It is coming from America constantly meddling in those people's affairs, constantly putting restraints on them, levying sanctions against these countries, squeezing them, man, trying to squeeze them out economically, trying to starve them, literally starving countries. 37 million people since 1996, 36 million people have died due to U.S. sanctions. And I think that's a conservative number. That's 36 million people. 36 million. Family, that's like, hold on. Let me get this number right here. So we got 36 million people. That's more people in New York City, Los Angeles, Chicago. Think about what I'm saying. So you got New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, Houston, Phoenix, Philadelphia, San Antonio, San Diego, Dallas, Jacksonville, Fort Worth, San Jose, Austin, Charlotte, Columbus, Indianapolis, San Francisco, Seattle, Denver, Oklahoma City, Nashville, Washington, D.C. Look, fam, you can put all of those cities together and it won't total 36 million. So imagine the population in all of those cities being wiped out. Think about that, fam, because I know when we talk about numbers, a lot of times, we can, be a little dismissive and it don't really hit us because they're just numbers. But start thinking about it as people. Think about the people in all of these cities. Think about how many people in those cities. And then think about all of those cities getting blown off the map, are no longer existing. Every single person that live in these cities, all of a sudden being dead. That's what the casualties, that's what the carnage looks like when you start talking about American sanctions. So that's why them people say death to America, because America has said death to them with real actions, real consequences. They love to talk about other people complaining and complaining. That's all this administration does is complain. All these bastards do is complain and point fingers. That's all they do. They don't get nothing done. I mean, they don't get nothing done. What they do is they do a whole lot of stuff that for optics, you know. Oh, we're gonna change the name of this street. We're gonna stop holidays. We're gonna stop it where you can go to the park for free. We're gonna, you know, they do a lot of stuff that don't really take critical thinking to do. Oh, we're gonna stop teaching critical race theory in church. In schools. You see what I'm saying? They do a lot of symbolic stuff, but nothing of substance, nothing that pushes the American economy forward, nothing that enriches the lives of Americans. They don't do nothing in regard to that. They do nothing to improve education. They actually got rid of the education department. They got rid of the Department of Education. They dismantled it. Lord knows we need some damn education in this country, but they got rid of it. All prices out the roof. What are they doing besides just going invading countries and stealing oil? What are they doing for long-term sustainability? What are they doing? Nothing. And every time they run into a snag, they blame the Democrats. Well, what about Obama? What about Obama? What about Biden? Well, the radical Democrats. All that damn crying and complaining, that's all they do every day. And I think he got another lawsuit for violating a woman. He got another lawsuit out there. But he goes on about his life like he ain't did nothing, like he ain't walking around with 34 felonies. It's absolutely insane. But I want to know, I got a question. With all that big talk, has Iran's regime, has the Iran regime fallen? Has it fallen? Has it changed? Has that so-called nuclear program ended? That's what I need to know. Homie don't think so. I'm going to tell you straight up, fam. This country needs a unifier. This country needs somebody that's going to take the high road, because even if they get somebody that's really good, that want to bring the country together, and for all his faults, Obama was the closest they've had over the last several years. For all his faults, at least he wasn't on a daily basis blaming the Republicans, even though the Republicans were blocking him at every turn. At least he wasn't blaming the Republicans at every single thing. And he wasn't insulting the Republicans. And I'm not just talking about the leadership. I'm talking about the civilians. He wasn't just insulting the civilians, the citizens, on a daily basis. He wasn't dividing, like he wasn't coming in like, oh, them over there, you know, they da. Nah. Dude was trying. I'm gonna give him credit for that. He was trying. He didn't get a lot done, but he was trying. In my opinion, he was trying. But this country needs a unifier, because otherwise this country is going to implode. It's no way possible this country can stay on the current trajectory and people have a, you know, a healthy lifestyle. It's more people than ever that's on antidepressants right now in this country. There's more people having mental problems in this country. There's more violence, more hatred, more angry. People are waking up and, you know, they're going into toxic environments. They're waking up into toxic environments. They log on and all you see is a bunch of division all day, every day. This country needs a unifier. And Donald Trump don't even try. He don't even pretend to try to unify the people. This dude is pathetic. No more talk.